Okay, I'm stripping this roof for Greg. I'm over in Holland. And this right here, that's a rusty nail right next to this skylight flashing kit. This is ice and water shield. There's the seam. It starts to go uphill up to there. That seam up there in the ice and water is about, I would say, 8 inches up from the plywood seam where the two roof pitches change. But getting back to these nails right here, this nail right here looks like an old decking nail that wasn't pounded down. These are probably just really rusted shingle nails. They could be from the previous tear off that didn't get dealt with very effectively. But the other thing that I'm noticing is this flashing kit right here, they didn't put ice and water on top of this edge. Like, bend this thing back down, put ice and water over this. So this is like a 312. There's snow and ice sitting here, and it came underneath the shingles and then down underneath this. This is amazing. You know, there's step flashing over here. Each course goes under, and then this is a second flashing piece right here for the skylight itself. But he's had continuous problems with his skylights leaking, and I can see why now. It's pretty frustrating that the homeowner, it's hard for homeowners to keep up with the work that's being done in their place. They have to trust their contractor. They're at work. They can't, I mean, I suppose they could probably take time off from work and come over and check up on their contractors, but what an ordeal. Now, I haven't stripped these three over here yet, but this first one right here has got some leak issues too. It's leaking down in, and this one could be glass because that's inside the house right there. You can see that little stain mark on the trim. I don't know, when I tear it off I'll know better. And then you can see that was felt on top of this course, and then there's a pod vent right here. This is only about 3 feet up from the seam where it transitions pitches. This pitch is probably about a 5 or a 6 here. This pitch down here is maybe a 3. And this vent pod right here leaked a little bit. But these two right here leaked the most. You can see the plywood decking. There was felt on top of this, but all the nails were rusty, and you can see that it's been leaking. And even up here, you can see this pod all the way up to the top of the roof. This is the very peak. There's a big skylight there at the peak of the roof, and then here's a pod right next to it. The plywood right in here has got some water stains on it. This one over here has, there's a rusty nail right there. There was probably some snow that sat there and just melted because of the heat coming through the attic. And then there's also over here this breezeway that connects the house to the garage. That could be a 412, but it's probably a 412 pitch. But there's only one course ice and water, which is pretty normal. So it splits the middle there, 18 inches on both sides of that valley. The ice and water protects. It's a rubber membrane. But he's got a significant water damage issue down in the plywood, underneath the soffit right here, in the plywood, right at this intersection of the eaves trough. So maybe the eaves trough is backing up and spilling backwards into the plywood soffit, and that would be my guess, because this doesn't look bad. Now, considering this is Holland, they get a lot of lake effect snow, I would have ice and watered this whole roof here and gone another course up on both sides of the valley, another course all the way around the perimeter of his house. It would have been a double course. Obviously it's more expensive. That rubber isn't exactly cheap. But look at the alternative. This roof is only like 5, 6, 7 years old, maybe. he had it done, and he's called the company to come back and kind of address some of these issues, and they just kind of give him the runaround. Maybe, well, actually, I don't know for sure what his dealings with the company that did the roof were. Apparently they did come back and do a repair where these two stovepipes poked through the roof. There was a fake chimney that sat over these to kind of hide them, and they got that wrong. They didn't know how to deal with that, and so they got it wrong, and it leaked really bad. The water, it just poured into the attic and got into his ceiling fans and light fixtures down in his bedroom. They came back and fixed it and apologized, but my goodness. Yeah, my goodness. And then the other issue that I'm having with this, either it's this brand of ice and water, I'll go down here and show you where it's not an issue. The shingles peeled off the ice and water membrane over here easily. See how it just comes right up? It's not sticking. And I can loosen that layer up, and it's not sticking. But down here and on the front side of the house, this ice and water turned into glue. This stuff is melted right into the rubber, and it's not coming off, which is really an issue for me, because I got to re-ice and water this, and I kind of got to have it smooth. And this stuff is glued to the plywood. I don't know if I can pull it off or not. And that was the same deal over here. You can see kind of what I ran into. If maybe you can see all the strips of shingles down through here on top of the ice and water shield that I poked at with my stripping shovel. Peeled them as best I could, pulled out the nails where they were. So this is going to get another layer of ice and water on top of it, and then another layer up here. But I'm worried about all those ridges. So anyway, it's a short video of some of my concerns from my friend Greg. I'm trying to get his roof buttoned up. Rain's coming Saturday, and here it is Thursday. I got to get all this paper covered. I got a Stinger green tack nailer, the washer, green wash plastic caps or whatever they're called, and some synthetic felt. So I'll staple that down, but I don't know what to do with some of these overhangs. And obviously I'm not putting these vents back in. These are down too low. I think they contaminate the vacuum flow, the convection flow from your soffit to the peak. I'll have to put more vents in at the peak, but I'm definitely going to eliminate these because these were leaking. So, all right, later.